you can do full time. You should do full time. There is no such thing called as ye bhi karunga, wo bhi karunga. There is this phase where you have one foot in your job and you have one foot in your passion, which is what in my case it was Leewardist. But one day you have to decide which foot to take out and put in that part. It can be either way.
Hey guys, you're listening to the Archgyan podcast, and this is part 2 of this 3-part series with Leewardist Founder Anuj Kale.
You're about to enter the Archgyan Podcast.
Archgyan Podcast.
India's first and very own architecture podcast, where you'll hear the insights, experiences, and journeys from India's leading architects. No matter what your skill level is, together we'll build on our knowledge and share architecture's greatest stories ever told. Now, here's your host, Manish Paul Simon.
Hey guys, welcome to yet another episode of the Archgyan podcast. This is the second part of this 3-part series with Leewardist founder Anuj Kale. Now, if you didn't get a listen to the previous episode, Anuj spoke about his introduction to architecture, passion for comics, his time in Sept, how he founded the Leewardist comic, and lots more. You can head to archgyan.com/14 to listen to the first part of this 3-part series. In today's episode, Anuj continues discussing his journey as a comic, his inspiration for his very first comics, the importance of having right friends, the teachings from his mentors, attaining nirvana in Gokarna, collaborating with Arch Daily, great advice for young, aspiring, passionate architects, and lots more. You will get all the show notes and links on archgyan.com/15. Now, without further ado, here's the second part of From an Architect to a World-Class Comic Writer with Anuj Kale. So till then you were doing hard copies and showing it to your friends?
No, I posted a lot of these urban design comics on that blog, the Leewardists. You can maybe check it. It has one of the most weirdest comics. You can check Leewardists.
This is the old times.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very weird comics. Like I made a comic about writing letters for some friend. I made a comic about what happens on the road.
No, but this is what helped you evolve, right?
Yeah, of course.
The constant
yes, completely.
rigor, like what
it was the start.
Yeah.
If I would have not started that, I think we would have not been sitting. So whatever those weird comics were, it was a start, and it helped me to understand that people don't like it. People don't understand it. So I thought maybe there is something called relatable. So this word relatable, I found out during that time ki it should relate to somebody's life. Then only people who don't know you will appreciate you. Because I always had this thought in mind, why are people who don't know me, why are they not appreciating? So then I slowly came slightly into architecture. In between, a lot of breakups happened and life was bad, and which is a common rockstar story if people have seen Rockstar.
Awesome.
Yeah, so 2 breakups happened, no names taken again, but they actually helped me to be more focused on my job, which is good, which was completely fine. It was very, like I said, it was depressing, it was heartbreaking. I did not work for 3 months, like nothing at all. No,
Zero money coming in.
Money, so 1.5 years, 2 years, I think almost 2 years, no money. I used to just go to a college in Pune to do visiting because I just needed like at least 10,000 aa jayega, so that would be great for me. So I did visiting, but that actually also helped because when I was addressing students, I could understand that what students like or how I can take a boring topic like services or
Building
construction, and how I can animate it and show it to students. So I was taking an urban design elective with the students, and I thought I'll make it like the Leewardist comics, like storytelling, sort of narration and everything. And I showed it to them, and then they're like, "Sir, aap kahan the?" Okay, I'll take that as a compliment. And I said, "Ki you want more?" And then he, "Sir, please, we would want more." And 100% attendance.
Oh wow.
98%. Like there were some people who were
definitely.
still. Yeah. So they did not come, but then they were so engrossed because everything was visual, like completely visual. They were not looking at me, they were looking at the presentation because they said that it is the other way around when it is other faculties, the presentation is so boring that you have to look at the face of the teacher.
Oh man, how many of us can relate to
Yeah,
that?
yeah, we have a comic on that also, types of teachers. You can check that out. So then they wanted more, and I spent a whole semester with them explaining urban design in a very simple visual graphical narrative way. And they have, in that college they have a evaluation, faculty evaluation or a course evaluation form which they give it out to students, and then it was written best, and then they had written essays about why this course was good.
Oh,
And then
wow.
the principal called me ki, "Arey Anuj, what did you do actually? Like, did you bribe them?" Like, no, sir. I made it in a fun and a very visual way. So then he said I would want to see it, and then I showed it to him, and then he said, "Okay, Anuj, now the next batch is coming, so you take a elective for them." So electives for all the, like, wherever urban design is included, he told me to take all the electives for them, and I did it for, like, simultaneously. I tested. It was an experiment which worked. Like, I tested out different ways at what they like actually. Do they like minimal stuff, no, long narratives, blah blah blah? So all this experimentation happened with those students, and eventually, again, the education system is so bad that you still cannot be 100% creative. So I had to leave that because a lot of interference, a lot of politics, management. You
So
get
you
the
were
point.
there for a brief stint of maybe.
Yeah, around a year and a half. It was
Okay.
visiting, like, two days a week, and I left after 1.5 years. And just because of that, I cannot have full potential over here. Like, I was enjoying it, but then I was like, I still cannot explore and have my full potential in this college. So then I consciously took a step back, saying that I don't want to do this, and I will experiment. All this experimentation which happened, I'll do it in my portal, which is Leewardist. Then we started talking about, again, architecture and urban design, but now a bit more relatable, a bit more simpler, a bit more graphically enhanced. So, my 1.5 years, 2 years of like struggle was somewhere, like somewhere over, like not completely, like there's no earning at all, no earning out of Leewardist, zero. Only earning was through that lecture which I used to give, that only 8 to 10,000 I used to get every month. So Leewardist was not giving me money at all. Then I left that job also because I think I'm very good at leaving jobs. But then I thought, okay, Leewardist, now I have some confidence, at least the content I can generate. So I started with comics about a case study. Like, there's a place in Iran, Isfahan, which has pigeon towers. So I thought, oh, now there's a very big story about why it is called pigeon towers. Basically, long story short, they have these holes on this tower, which is a cylinder, and the pigeons, because it's very hot outside, they used to come in this cylinder and they used to sit inside these holes, and they used to shit, of course, because they're sitting there, and all this shit used to get collected in that cylinder, and that used to get converted eventually into urea, which is used for like as a fertilizer, natural. And then a lot of watermelons and cucumbers used to, like, get good produce because of this urea.
So you were inspired by that and made a comic strip.
Yes. And that was like the informative urban design / architecture comic which I started, and it got a decent response by not my friends, by the audience who doesn't know me. So I thought this is a
But
good.
how did this audience reach you? You started a page or?
Yeah, so it was a page, of course, Facebook. Like I said, I started that page in the office, but it was not active. But then eventually I started putting stuff, and this pigeon tower comic was also published there, and it got a good response from people who I don't know. So they said, "Oh, this is nice comic," and I checked mutual friends. Nahi, okay, yes, that's a good way to evaluate. So no mutual friend, which means that they don't know me, and they are genuinely commenting about my work. And then I made a comic about the windmills of Netherlands,
Oh
because
yeah, I've seen that. That's pretty
I was in Netherlands for a workshop through some connections. So they called me. So I went to the windmills. That there's a UNESCO heritage site over there, and that I converted into comic. Again, that got a very good response. So that comic was graphically very good, short narrative, some humor, which was a good recipe to attract and make the audience know your work. And then slowly so then what happened, so the next incident what happened was Charles Correa died in 2000, 15 or 14, I guess.
15.
15. So then I was like, I was a big fan. And I was like, oh my god, this happened. I immediately looked at his quotes and I made a comic on one of his quotes in my Leewardist style, and I published it. It got around that time, it got around 1,000 shares on Facebook. So shares is a very big deal on Facebook. So 1,000 shares for a page which has only 4,000 followers was a very big
wow.
deal.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh my god, this has got a good response, and it spread out to different
Avenues.
And then my friends were like, hey, one of my friends shared this, so I just wanted to tell you this ki, Arey, you're getting
Acha.
popular. Or they shared it with me, and I told them, Arey, this is made by my friend. So I was like, Arey, wow, that's good.
Acha.
That's a good achievement. So these are the achievements which you actually will get, and you should be happy. I mean, I was very happy when that friend said ki, my friend shared this with me, and I immediately told them that, Arey, that guy is my friend.
And that was a comic which took you about 10 to 15 minutes? Or...
Yes, to be very precise, 10-15 minutes for the ideation and an hour to make it.
Okay.
So within 1.5 hours I published it, and people were like, how did you know that he was going to die? Like, it was so fast. But yeah, so that comic actually helped me. Like, this is part of that confidence building, which actually is very slow. It's like 0.1% at a time. You will never have like overnight fame.
But it's consistent, right? You
Yeah.
put up comics.
Yeah, because I was loving that process. Again, a very hypothetical, dreamy way to say it. Love your process. Every professor says that the process is important, not the product.
Yeah.
It's true. I don't know how to say it. You will enjoy. I have enjoyed my process. I still enjoy the process because I'm still struggling. So the process, if you enjoy it, you will never think about, अरे कितना पैसा आएगा, how much will I earn, what will people think, why am I not going to the US? That's what every uncle says. Why are you not in the US? All these things. If you are enjoying that thing, you will not listen to these people. And at one time, these people will say, "Arey, I only told him to do this." That also happens a lot.
That is a reality, right?
Yeah, they say that, I told him. I'm like, no, you did not tell me. Nobody told me. So, yeah, these were the comics which actually motivated me. No income out of it. Like 1,000 shares. So how much money did you get from it? This is what people ask me. I'm like, nothing. Nobody pays you. Instagram doesn't pay you. Facebook doesn't pay you. But I just love the way that it was spread. People loved it. People commented on it. People sent me messages. My friends sent me messages. So I felt very good.
Yeah.
So then I thought architecture is a very good way because I know about it. So it's also one way I can talk. I mean, it's a direction I can also follow. Because urban design to already, because I was fresh urban designer. Architecture I can speak because I know about architecture. So Charles Correa gave me a hint ki, chalo, let's talk about something about students maybe. So then the second breakup happened after that. And I was like 3 months pura down. I mean, it's very funny for me to say right now, but then it was very hard for me to get up. Because at that time I remember it was around 8,000 to 9,000 followers on Facebook. Instagram was not at all existing at that time. And I was like completely shattered, and I was like, I think this is the time to quit Leewardist. There are moments like this where you feel that I think this was it. My journey was still here, because you're in a very different state of mind. Emotionally, you're in a very different state of mind. And I thought, okay, this is it. And
so how did you push through and
yeah,
come
again, a lot of good friends. That's why it's always very good to have friends. Because I remember Vinu Daniel is an architect from Kerala who works on brick, and he's supposed to be the Zahadid of bricks, and this is what I call. He told that you don't have friends in your life. It was a very strong statement.
He's
which
also
he said.
from Sept.
No, he's very no. I think he's never mentioned about his education also.
Okay.
He's a very good guy. So he said there are no friends in your life, which was a very dark statement, which is true actually. There are no friends. You're alone. That's what he wanted to say. But then later when he finished his presentation, he said, "My friends were not those people from the college who said that, "Alright, we know you do, we are with you, thumbs up, we are with you." My friends were those people when I wanted to start this practice which nobody believes in. Those mason, those laborers who helped me put that brick on top of it, those are my real friends. So same when you're in a profession, uh, when you're fallen, I was like completely down, like I had fallen down. So these people who tell you ki nahi, you should do it, that is just a phase, these are the people who actually are your real friends. So I agree and disagree also to Vinu. Like I agree in the way that yes, there are no friends, because we feel that I have a lot of friends, but actually you don't have friends, which is very dark and deep for the audience also. But then at the same time, to look at it in a very positive way, at that time when I was like completely shattered and I wanted to leave Leewardist, there were friends who said, no, it's one part of your life. One of my friends, Nilanjan Mandal, again a Bengali, a big shout out to Nilanjan
Shout out
also.
to Neelkanth.
Yeah, he said that. He doesn't know Hindi very well, so he used to speak in that Bengali Hindi accent. So you can imagine. So he said ki bhaiya, there are 8,000, because I had 9,000 followers at that time. So this is what he said: you have only one follower has been reduced. 8,999 followers are still waiting for your work, and that was like, oh my god, this is like Javed Akhtar का lyrics. एक फॉलोअर कम हो गया, 8,999 फॉलोअर्स अभी भी है. दिस इज व्हाट ही सेड, एंड दे आर वेटिंग फॉर योर वर्क, सो डोंट डिसअपॉइंट दोज 8,999 followers. And I'm like, okay. And I went back, I made a comic, but it did not work. I was like, I'm charged up and now I'll make a comic, this will go viral. Nothing happened.
And you left those comics which didn't work on the page, or did you like kind of archive it, or
No, that was still on the page. Like they're still on the page. You can go back and see everything, all the weird things which I've tried out. Of course, now not the Charles Courier one, but there's a lot of these comics which you can see. So I made comics after that incident, and I slowly, like I said, 0.1%. You just have to wait. You just have to wait. I mean, people again come and ask me ki, "Arey, I've posted 15 comics and nothing, no response." I have made bloody 1,200 comics. So, and out of those 1,200, only one went like full world viral, which is that comic which has
The
a grey,
building, right? The
grey
client
background.
and-
Yeah. That was like 10,000 shares.
I mean, everyone on earth can relate to that comic.
Anybody, even a non-architect can relate to it. So that was out of the 1,200 attempts. Again, 1,199 attempts ke baad, that 1,200th comic is the one which takes you to that fame. It's not an overnight success. Like, "Arey, your comic has gone viral, overnight success." No, it was not. It was 3.5 years of bloody making comics every day, if not posting them, but at least making them on your sketchbook. And that is what takes you. 3 things which I recently learned from Neelkanth Chhaya. I met him 2 days back. I think, I fast, I wait. I think, which means that I am sorted. I know what to do, which is difficult. Second is the even more difficult part. I fast. I prioritized my life by not going, not spending. So I could relate to these 3, and I wait, which means I wait. I'll be patient. I'll post a comic. I'll wait. No response. I'll make another comic. I'll wait. These 3 things I recently related. So these 3 things which were told to be my mentor, is my you can say like Eklavya. He was not there, but I used to follow his learning. So he, now when he told me this, I could completely relate to my life. Ki, haan, these 3 things I have done, and I can still do that. I can think, I can fast, and I can wait. And trust me, the first one is still easy. The second one is difficult. And the third one is the most difficult. This is the most difficult, and everybody today in India, or if people are listening from outside, in fact, it will be listened by people from outside, because we'll be posting it. We'll be posting it on our this thing also. So
sure.
a lot of our followers, 50% of our followers from outside India. So I would love them to listen to this. So I could relate to this. I think, I fast, I wait. And I could relate, and I have to some extent done all of these things. And this was natural. It came naturally. It was not that you should read this startup book, or I have never read.
It was very organic, right?
Organic, and like I said, pure and innocent. Like this is how we started this discussion. Innocent. It was innocent, and this urge and this rigor, all these my professors, my well-wishers, and Neelkanth Chhaya, PVK Rameshwar, my dean from, HOD from SEPT, all these people, all these words which I say right now are those like people who have subconsciously they have fit in my mind, all these words.
That's the best part about architecture field, right? We have so many
Yes.
inspiring faculties that we have so much to learn from, and
Yeah.
they really truly inspire a lot of people.
Yeah, so I fortunately had very good faculty, I would say mentors or teachers or whatever you can call them. It can also be a friend. So it need not be a person with a very big age or higher age. So SEPT actually not only introduced me very good faculty, but good friends, good colleagues or friends, or even good people, like the person in that canteen who used to give us the tray, like the food, was a person who always had a smile. And then when we were like, "Arey yaar, like I'm just screwed. I don't want to work more." And when he used to give us the food couplet, he was like very happy and like, "Hiriya bhai, acha laga dekh ke." So everybody is there for you. Like need not be only a teacher or a faculty with a degree or some esteemed position. So it can be Hirya Bhai from the canteen also, who can actually make your life better, or that friend of yours who sent you that photo ki, "Arey, my friend shared your post with me." These are the moments which actually make your life better, in terms of that you want to continue this. I want to continue this. This is the thing which makes me want to do this more, not the money. So money, I did not even talk about money. So this was that phase when I started to get more confidence, like that breakup phase. I was slowly getting more confident, and I used to sit. At that time, I did not have an office. Office came a year back.
This was still in your flat or house?
Yeah. So now I've slowly shifted to Nasik, because Nasik was, my girlfriend was in Nasik. That's why I got to come to Nasik. Okay. So I was coming back to Nasik, and I used to sit in a CCD. So my friend used to buy a coffee for himself because I did not have money, and I used to draw things. So we drew. My friend, a very good friend, who still we share an office together in Nasik, Ketan Sonane. Again, a big shout out to Ketan. We share the same office. We don't practice together. We share together so that we can talk about life, architecture, and not work together. Because if you work together, then it's a big problem. So we share an office. It's a very weird combination. Like people ask us, "Do you work together?" No, we just sit together. That's it. Why is there a problem? Like, why do you have a problem? We just want to sit and talk about each other's, like, just about life and architecture. I just want that. I don't want to
each
work.
other company.
Yeah, I don't want to work with him, because that will make it even more messier. So I did not have an office at that time. I used to work from home, or maybe like we said, CCD. So we used to go to the CCD, and I used to draw the character there. So this character came very late. People think that it is 4 years back when I started.
Yeah,
No.
the Leewardist character.
Yeah, the guy who I think everybody
That is basically you only, right?
yeah, maybe not in terms of the features, but in terms of the life, it's my life.
Yeah.
It's basically what I was, like that timid character who wants to learn, but he's not a rebel. He's an introvert.
Yeah.
And he doesn't know like what to do, but he's inquisitive. He wants to learn. He wants to explore, and that's about it. And I think that's everybody in the world, every architecture student in the world. That's why maybe people relate to his persona a lot. So this character was designed in that CCD. So it started with the beard, because at that time, like Neelkanth Chhaya. No, I still don't have. I think I'm trying to compromise that by putting a beard in that character's face. So Neelkanth Chhaya, Sanjay Mohe. So this beard. So I thought, let's have a beard, but then it was looking very old. So I thought this has to be a new, fresh character and not Indian. So this, I don't know how this happened. I never wanted to portray him as an Indian architect.
Why was that?
Yeah, because I put a khadi coat initially. So I have some sketches of that also. So he had a khadi coat, black, because khadi coat means a star architect, right? And a dadi, like a beard. But then my mother said, no dadi. I'm like, okay, theek hai, nahi. So I made a stubble for him. And why I thought of him as not an Indian architect, because I knew at that time that if I talk about Indian architects or Indian architecture, I have a very small crowd. Let's make it a universal architect so that I have the whole world as a platform. So it was a very good decision, because it's working today. The fruits are being, like, I'm getting to have the fruit right today, because that is work, because like I said, 50% of the followers are outside India, which totals up to around 60-70,000 of the total follower
Oh
base.
wow.
So
Okay.
which means that it worked. It was not, yeah, sometimes you can see Indian, like the bun, the bindi of the mom, because she's
But
my mom.
everyone still can relate to
Yeah,
that.
and they
Yeah.
have comments which says that the world, my world and your world is same. We have got comments like this,
Wow.
and we have got messages which says that like greetings from Colombia or Vietnam. I mean, we have a lot of South American followers, because we feel that, I think the
Yeah,
culture
the
is same.
culture is pretty
Yeah,
Mexican
same.
and
Yeah,
Indian
same,
and all
same,
that.
same.
Yeah.
Completely same. So then I thought ki, okay, why is a Mexican or a Colombian girl messaging me? Which means I'm doing good. I mean, I was just actually flattered, like, oh my! I used to tell my friends, "Hey, dekho, Colombian girl has messaged me." So
Oh, so you went and figured out whether it was a Colombian girl.
yeah, because you could see Kali, Colombia. There's something written in their Instagram or Facebook profile. So I felt good. Maybe then, but what happened later was, the character, we used to come up with comics which were very long initially. There are 10 types of architecture students. If you might have seen it, in fact, the audience should check it out, because you'll find all of that 10 types of
Yeah,
students in
definitely.
that comic. These were these long comics which I used to put it on the website.
Right.
It got famous a lot, but nobody knew who is making them, because nobody went to the Facebook page or the Instagram page, which was just 50 followers old. Nobody went there. Like, that's a very big problem. If you have a website, nobody goes to your social media profiles. They just share it on their Facebook or wherever, and they just leave it. They don't identify the creator. That's what I wanted to also address, especially in India. They don't identify the creator. They see memes. So memes are not comparable. They're like something else. If they see a original artwork or a comic, they just laugh, they share it, but they don't identify. I'm not saying like the page,
So how did
identify.
they identify your
So
Leewardist?
this tint of the character and stories about what do people say to us. There's a comic about what everyone says about an architect, what frustrations of an architect. The architect goes to Taj Mahal. I had a lot of these long comics which I
Yeah,
used to put.
that's a pretty nice
Yeah, so
comic. Yeah.
but then no impact on the pages, social media pages. Then I thought ki this is not working, and I took a break and I went to Gokarna, which is very south of Goa, and there I had like Nirvana.
There was a comic about that as well,
Yeah, yeah. There's a
right?
comic about Gokarna, which like I said, after that Gokarna incident, I was like a different person altogether, and I then published that comic which got 10,000 shares.
The building
Building
client.
client wala.
Okay.
So I don't know why something happened
So I
in
think
Goa.
that's the importance of taking a break from
Break
your
and
work
then
and
refreshing, like, because we are thinking a lot, right? I mean, I am thinking a lot. Like, I would say this was an exhaust. I was exhausted.
burnt out.
Yeah, burnt out, like that's what they say. I was burnt out, exhausted mentally, creatively, and I had to stop and like pause, not stop, pause and take a break and forget about what am I doing. But I still used to draw. Like when I was in Gokarna with Somdeep, the guy who was there initially, and we used to draw, and like I used to draw about me and Somdeep going in a bike in Gokarna. So I have all these sketches with me about that Gokarna
Oh,
trip.
nice.
And after that, I came back and I was like, I took a deep breath and I made that comic. And I also got a message from Agdeli
Oh,
saying
wow.
that we stumbled upon this comic which was called Architecture Then versus Now, Architecture Students, and then said, we have seen your comics and we would like to publish this regularly. And I'm like, who should I tell this first? Who should I tell this first? And I'm like, Jayesh. Okay, Jayesh. So Jayesh is also one of my mentor, Jayesh Ganesh, who's from Bangalore. A big shout out to Jayesh also. He
There are
was
so
my
many mentors, man.
yeah. He was my roommate in SEPT.
Okay.
So he was like that Gyani, book reading, philosophical guy who used to tell me about life,
Oh wow.
and
Okay.
he still does. Okay, so yeah, Jayesh is that mentor. So like I said, not those mentors which you see these days. These are like your mentors who tell you about maybe just to chill or just to take a break. So these are the kind of mentors which I have. So again, coming back to the point.
So what is Jayesh's opinion on the Arc Daily stint?
Yeah, so he was like, he usually is like very excited with these info. So he's like, message me like ha 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 into 10 or maybe 100. Ha ha ha, I'm so proud. And then we met, and then he's like, he gave me a hug and he's like, "Dekhi, this is that thing. Now you should take this and take a leap." And then after that, I published the Grey comic, that building wala comic, and then I published it in the morning at around 8 o'clock. And my friend Ketan said that, "Arey Anuj, you look at your social media a lot. Keep that phone aside for at least 3 hours. Don't touch it." I'm like, "Haan, theek hai, I think you're right. I am too much like into it, like looking at likes, arey, kitna likes mila, that kind of stuff, which is completely weird. But that's fine. You are very, like, you're a child at that time. You're like, arey, kitna likes hai, kitna likes hai." And I kept it away, and I looked at 12 o'clock, and it had 1.2k likes
Okay.
and
Nice.
400 shares. And I'm like, refresh. I just have to refresh, because is this a lie? I refreshed it, and it's like 1.2k shares and 405 shares.
Oh, wow.
So within that 1 minute, I got 5 more shares. And then I was looking at it, 405 shares, 800, 1000, 2000, 3000, 8000. I'm like, kya ho raha hai? Is this a dream? Like within a week, this happened. Like every day I had like 1000 followers, shares and followers also. And I got even more like messages saying that, which country are you from? And I'm like, India. And then Indian people asking me this, which country you're from. So first, the thought which I had in mind is, why are they questioning that I am not from India? Why do they have this question? Or they have already decided that I'm not from India. In fact, I've met a lot of people who say, "Oh, you're Indian. I thought you were some European guy."
Oh man.
So
That's
this is
sad,
actually
right?
yeah, no, but ठीक है. I mean, I introspected about it. कि why are they asking me this question that why are you which country you're from? So that they have already decided that Indians will not do this, because the education system will not allow, or the pressure or the peer or the parental pressure will not allow anybody in India to take this step and do this. So automatically it is proven that this is from a person who is not from India. So it's actually a very deep thought which I had in mind when somebody asked me this. I would have been happier here. They think that I'm from Europe, but actually it was a very deeper question about our society, our education system, and everything, the system which we have, which says that nobody from India can do this.
That's really sad. Anuj.
Yeah, it's actually later. Later initially I was happy. "Arey, why are they asking me?" But then when I introspected into depth, it was actually very sad. And still, I met people. I was in Pondicherry for a workshop, and then there was they dropped us to the Pondicherry city. It was a bit far from Pondicherry, so they dropped us to the city to let us see like the old part of Pondicherry. And this architect was asking me, "What do you do?" So like, "I make these comics about architecture." Huh? Why? Okay, what? So I showed him the famous one, because I knew that is quite famous, and I said, "This is what I do." And he said, "Arey, I see this in my WhatsApp group. Every week something comes on my WhatsApp group with this. I always used to wonder who has got the time to make this stuff." Which means that he is not convinced कि ये कौन है, who is this guy who has got time apart from practicing architecture and he's making this. But he cannot understand this, that there is a
There's some
person who
full-time.
is full time doing this. This is what was again sad, but these are the learnings, that this is what I should preach, maybe, or not preach, that's a wrong word at all. I should tell students or people that you can do full time, you should do full time. There is no such thing called as ye bhi karunga, wo bhi karunga. There is this phase where you have one foot in your job and you have one foot in your passion, which is what in my case it was Leewardist. But one day you have to decide which foot to take out and put in that part. It can be either way.
All right, guys. So that is the end of the second part. I hope you liked this episode. I definitely did and learned a ton from Anuj. If you want to check out Anuj's work, head to Leewardist.com, or you can follow him on Instagram by searching for his handle, which is, of course, Leewardist. Now, here's a small snippet from what's to come in the next episode, which is our final episode of this 3-part series. And it will be closed by our very own DJ Brian's outro. Thanks, guys, for listening, and hope to see you on the next episode. Cheers.
I was taught to question in SEPT or whatever college. Like my education, one thing which was very important was I was taught to question the principle also. Neelkanth Chhaya can also be questioned about anything. or BV Doshi can also be questioned. So I was taught. So that confidence that I can question the BV Doshi or Neelkanth Chhaya about certain things is the thing which every student needs to do in today's context, because nobody is encouraged to question anything. I'm not talking about a question like an architectural question. It has to be a question about, first to yourself, that what am I doing, and second to the other, or to anybody else, that can be a friend or a faculty also, or a principal also, ki why am I taught like this, or what does this mean? You should be able to question. If you are afraid, or if you are forced down to not question, then you will fall to the trap of becoming an employee for your life, because our education system is actually training us to be employees, not to be Pritzker winners, to be very frank.
You've been listening to the Archgyan podcast. We're still building the community. Please share this knowledge with someone you know who could benefit. Just send them to archgyan.com, where you'll find our free newsletter, and for more podcast episodes, search for the show on any major podcasting platform. Don't forget to subscribe where you're listening right now. And if you liked it, leave a rating or review.